This changes everything. That pit in your stomach, the constant worry about money, it's a signal, not that you need to work harder, but that you're chasing a shadow. What if you could stand still and have it come to you? The final insight I will share is the key that unlocks this reality. To understand it, you must first understand the foundation. Stay with me on this journey. Emptying cup. Let us begin with a simple yet profound question. If you have a cup that is already full of stale, muddy water, can you pour fresh, clear tea into it? No, of course not. You would first have to empty the cup. You would have to pour out the old to make space for the new. Our minds are this cup. For many of us, our cup is overflowing. It is filled with anxieties about the future, regrets from the past, and a constant churning noise about what we lack. Specifically, it is filled with beliefs about money, that it is scarce, that it is hard to get, that you are not worthy of it, that you must suffer and struggle for it. These are the dregs of muddy water. Before we can even speak of abundance, of money flowing to you, we must first be willing to empty our cup. This is not a passive act. It requires courage. It is the decision to look inside and identify the stale water. What are the stories you tell yourself every day about your financial situation? What are the emotions that arise when you think of bills, of your bank account? Is it fear? Is it desperation? Is it envy? Do not judge these feelings. Do not fight them. Simply observe them. Acknowledge their presence. This is the beginning of the emptying process. You hold the cup in your hands and you gently, deliberately begin to tip it over. This journey is not about learning a new trick or a secret technique to manipulate the world. It is about unlearning. It is about purification. The world outside of you, the material world, is a mirror reflecting the world inside of you. If your inner world is one of chaos, scarcity, and fear, the mirror will reflect that back to you in your external circumstances. You will find evidence for your fears everywhere you look. This is not a punishment. It is simply a law of nature, like gravity. The reflection is always true to the source. So the work does not begin out there by chasing a better job or a new opportunity. The work begins in here. It starts with the simple, humbling act of admitting that your cup is full, that your current approach, your current mindset might be the very thing holding you back. It requires a quiet moment of introspection. Breathing in, you acknowledge the clutter. Breathing out, you create the intention to release it. You don't need to force it. You simply give it permission to leave. With every breath, you are pouring out a little more of the muddy water. You are creating space. What will you fill this space with? For now, nothing. We will simply sit with the quiet emptiness, because only in that emptiness can a new seed be planted. The seed of a reality where you are not the hunter, but the quiet mountain that the clouds are drawn to. This is the first, most essential step. Without it, nothing else is possible. Chasing shadows. Have you ever tried to catch your own shadow? A child might do this. He runs and the shadow runs with him. He lunges for it and it moves instantly, always just out of reach. The faster and more desperately he runs, the faster and more elusive the shadow becomes. It is a frustrating game, a game that cannot be won. This is the perfect metaphor for the way most people relate to money and security. They are chasing a shadow, the frantic energy, the constant hustle, the feeling of being perpetually behind. This is the desperate run. And the financial security they crave remains the elusive shadow, always on the horizon, but never in their grasp. The fundamental mistake is in the chase itself. The energy of chasing is one of lack. It is a declaration to the universe that says, I do not have enough, I am not enough. This energy of neediness, of desperation, is a repellent. Think of it in human relationships. If someone is desperately chasing you, clinging to you, demanding your attention, what is your natural reaction? It is to pull away, to create space. The energy is overwhelming and it feels imbalanced. The universe, in its own way, responds to energy in a similar fashion. The energy of desperate grasping pushes away the very thing you are grasping for. It creates a turbulence that abundance cannot settle in. So what is the solution to the child's game? How does he finally catch his shadow? He must stop running. When he stands still, when he becomes calm and centered, the shadow is right there with him. It has been there all along. It was never separate from him. The chase created the illusion of separation. It is the same with money. The secret is not to learn how to run faster. It is to learn how to become still, to stop the frantic outward chase and turn your attention inward, to cultivate a state of being that is so solid, so calm, so whole that it does not need to chase anything. This stillness is not passivity. It is not giving up. It is the highest form of power. It is the calm eye of the storm. From this place of inner quiet, you can see clearly. The panic and noise of the chase obscure your vision. You miss opportunities that are right in front of you because you are too busy looking far ahead at the shadow you are chasing. When you become still, the world changes. Your perception shifts. You begin to notice the value you already possess. You begin to see avenues of service and contribution you were blind to before. You stop projecting an energy of lack and start radiating an energy of wholeness. And the world, the mirror, will have no choice but to reflect this new state back to you. The shadow stops running and rests at your feet. In a garden, imagine your inner world is a plot of land, a garden. For many, this garden has been left untended. The soil is hard and dry. Weeds of fear and doubt have grown rampant. And we stand in this barren plot, looking over the fence at our neighbor's beautiful, flourishing garden, wondering why we have no fruit. We then spend all our energy trying to climb the fence to take their fruit, or we shout at the sky, demanding that it rain on our land. We do everything except the one thing that will truly make a difference, tending to our own soil. This is the work. The real work is not out there. It is in here, in your inner garden. Money, abundance, opportunity, these are the fruits. They are not the goal. They are the natural, inevitable byproduct of a healthy, well-tended garden. You cannot force a fruit to appear. You cannot scream at a branch until it produces an apple. It is a foolish endeavor. Instead, you must focus on the process. You must focus on creating the conditions for growth. What does this mean in a practical sense? The soil is your foundation. It is your physical health, your stability, your core beliefs. You must break up the hard, compacted soil of your limiting beliefs about scarcity and worthiness. You must pull the weeds of fear, anxiety, and comparison one by one. The water is your emotional state, your energy flow. A garden needs consistent, gentle watering, not a flood followed by a drought. In the same way, you must learn to regulate your emotional energy. The panicked highs and desperate lows of the financial chase are like a cycle of flood and drought that damages the roots. Through practices like mindfulness and meditation, you learn to provide a steady, calm stream of emotional nourishment to your garden. You learn to respond to challenges not with panic, but with a calm, watering presence. This creates resilience. The sunlight is your focus, your purpose. What do you direct your attention towards? A plant will always grow towards the light. What is your light? Is it a skill you wish to master? Is it a service you feel called to provide? Is it a way of being you wish to embody? When you direct your attention to this purpose, to the joyful act of cultivating your skill and offering your value to the world, you are providing the sunlight that allows for photosynthesis, for true growth to occur. You forget about the fruit because you are so absorbed in the loving act of gardening. You are focused on giving, on cultivating, on becoming. And then one day you look up and the branches are heavy with fruit. It appeared not because you demanded it, but because you created the perfect conditions for it to emerge. Value stream. Let us consider the nature of a river. A river is a powerful, life-giving force. It nourishes the land. It provides a home for countless creatures. It allows for transportation and trade. But where does its power come from? It comes from its constant movement, its constant giving away. A river that stops flowing, that tries to hoard all its water in one place, becomes a stagnant, putrid swamp. It loses its life force. Its value is in its flow. You, your skills, your presence, your unique talents, you are a source of this living water. The value you can provide to the world is a stream. The mistake many people make is they try to build a dam and hoard the water. They think, if I can just accumulate enough money, then I will be secure. They focus on the accumulation, on the getting. They are trying to create a stagnant reservoir. But true wealth, true security comes not from hoarding, but from becoming a powerful, ever-flowing river of value. Your primary focus should not be, how can I get money? It should be, how can I increase the flow of value that moves through me and out into the world? This is a fundamental shift in perspective that changes everything. What is your stream? It could be anything. It could be your skill as a craftsman, creating objects of beauty and utility. It could be your ability as a teacher to make complex subjects simple and clear. It could be your presence as a caregiver, bringing comfort and peace to those in need. It could be your talent for organizing systems, for creating order out of chaos. It does not matter what the specific expression is. What matters is that you see it as a stream, something to be shared, something to be given freely and joyfully. Your job is to clear the blockages in your stream, the self-doubt, the fear of not being good enough, the procrastination. Your job is to deepen the riverbed through constant practice and learning. Money, in this analogy, is simply a boat that floats on your river. Or perhaps it is a measure of the river's flow. It is a symbol, a consequence of the value you are providing. When you focus on making your river powerful, deep and clear, many boats can and will travel on it. They will be drawn to the strength of the current. But if you focus only on capturing the boats, you ignore the river itself. The river becomes shallow and weak, and the boats can no longer travel on it. Do you see the backward logic most people are using? They are boat chasers, not river cultivators. Shift your entire focus to the health and flow of your own unique stream of value. Give your gifts to the world with an open hand, and the symbols of that value will return to you naturally and without struggle. Stillness power. In a world that shouts faster, harder, more, the most radical and powerful act is to be still. Not an empty, lazy stillness, but a deep, vibrant, and potent stillness. Imagine you have a glass of water filled with dirt and sediment. If you are anxious and you keep shaking the glass, what happens? The water remains cloudy, murky, and opaque. You cannot see through it. This is the state of a mind caught in the storm of financial anxiety. Every worry, every fearful thought is another shake of the glass. The mind remains cloudy, and you cannot see the path forward. Your decision-making is impaired. You react from a place of fear, not clarity. Now, what happens if you take that same glass of water and you place it on a table and you simply let it be? You do not touch it. You do not interfere. You just allow it to be still. Slowly, particle by particle, the sediment begins to settle. The dirt drifts to the bottom, and after some time, the water at the top becomes perfectly clear. This is the power of stillness. It does not add anything. It is a process of subtraction. It allows the noise to settle, the inner turmoil to quiet down, so that the natural clarity of your mind can emerge. This is not a metaphor, it is a direct description of the practice of mindfulness and meditation. This practice is the most practical financial tool you could ever possess, because it works on the source of all your decisions, your own mind. By sitting for just a few minutes each day, by focusing on your breath, by observing your thoughts without getting swept away by them, you are placing the glass of water on the table. You are training yourself not to shake it. At first, it is difficult. The habit of shaking is strong, but with gentle, consistent practice, you begin to experience moments of clarity. The sediment starts to settle. From this place of inner stillness and clarity, your relationship with the world transforms. An opportunity that you would have missed in your panicked state now becomes obvious. A conversation that would have been filled with needy energy now becomes a calm exchange of value. You are able to distinguish between a true intuition and a fear-based impulse. You stop reacting and start responding. This stillness gives you a tremendous advantage. While others are running around, shaking their glass of water in a frenzy, you are sitting with a clear view. You can see the landscape for what it is. You make better decisions. You see the true nature of value. You become a source of calm in a chaotic world, and that itself is immensely valuable. Power is not in the frantic action. It is in the centered stillness from which right action arises. Detached intention. A common misunderstanding that can arise from this teaching is the belief that one should become passive, desireless, and simply drift through life with no goals. This is a subtle but important misinterpretation. The goal is not to eliminate intention. It is to detach from the anxiety of the outcome. There is a world of difference between these two states. Let us use the example of a master archer. The archer has a very clear intention: to have the arrow hit the center of the target. The intention is precise and unwavering. However, where does the master archer place his focus? He does not stare at the target with desperate, anxious eyes, worrying, "What if I miss? What will people think? I must hit it." This anxiety would tense his muscles, make his breathing shallow, and spoil his aim. Instead, the master archer places his entire focus on the process. He focuses on his stance, grounding himself to the earth. He focuses on the smooth, deliberate motion of drawing the bow. He focuses on his breath, making it calm and steady. He focuses on the feeling at his fingertips just before the release. He falls in love with the process itself. He has a clear intention to hit the target, but he is completely detached from the outcome. He has surrendered the result to the perfection of his process. He knows that if he executes the process flawlessly, the arrow will fly true. The outcome is a natural consequence of the right action performed in the present moment. This is the mindset we must cultivate. You can have the clear intention: I intend to create a life of financial freedom and abundance. This is your target. It is clear and powerful. But then you must immediately release your attachment to it. You must let go of the anxiety, the worry, the when, and the how. Your focus must shift entirely to your daily process. What is the process? It is everything we have discussed. It is emptying your cup. It is tending to your inner garden. It is cultivating your value stream. It is practicing stillness. You bring your full attention and joy to these actions, right here, right now. You focus on pulling one weed from your garden today. You focus on writing one page, on making one sales call with calm confidence, on meditating for 5 minutes. You fall in love with the feeling of a process done well. You trust that if you take care of the process will take care of the result. This is detached intention. It is the union of clear direction and complete surrender. It is aiming for the sun, but finding joy in the simple act of building the ship piece by piece, day by day. True wealth. We are conditioned to believe that money equals wealth. We spend our lives chasing this external symbol, believing that once we have enough of it, we will finally be able to purchase the things we truly desire: peace, freedom, and security. We see wealth as a destination we must arrive at. But what if this is a fundamental illusion? What if true wealth is not a destination, but a state of being that you can cultivate right now, regardless of the number in your bank account? What if the secret to attracting the symbol of wealth, money, is to first embody the substance of wealth, inner peace and freedom? Let's examine what we want money for. We want security, the feeling that we will be okay, that we are safe. But can a pile of paper truly give you that? We have all seen people with immense fortunes who live in constant fear of losing it. Their security is fragile, dependent on external markets and circumstances. But what is true security? True security is an unshakable inner peace. It is the deep knowing that you can handle whatever life brings your way. This is a quality of your own mind. It is cultivated through stillness, through detaching from outcomes. It is a wealth that can never be lost. When you possess this inner security, you stop projecting the needy energy that repels financial opportunity. We want freedom, the ability to do what we want, when we want. We think money will buy this. But again, many who are financially rich are prisoners to their businesses, to their lifestyles, to the expectations of others. They have no time, no peace of mind. They are not free. What is true freedom? It is freedom from your own reactive mind. It is freedom from being a slave to your impulses, your fears, and your anxieties. A disciplined, clear mind is the most liberated mind in the world. This freedom, cultivated through self-awareness and practice, allows you to act with purpose and integrity, rather than being pulled in 1,000 directions by desire and fear. This is a sovereign wealth. When you shift your focus from acquiring external money to cultivating these internal states of true wealth, peace, security, freedom, a profound paradox unfolds. Because you are no longer desperate for the external symbol, you cease to chase it. You cease to project the energy of lack. You embody the very qualities that money is supposed to provide. You become a person who is already secure, already free, already at peace. And this state of being, this embodiment of true wealth, is incredibly attractive. It is a stable, calm, powerful energy that the world and the resources within it naturally gravitates towards. You don't need money to be wealthy. You become wealthy to attract money. Becoming mountain. In the end, all of these steps, all of these practices lead to one final transformative state of being. It is the culmination of the journey. It is the shift from being a hunter to being a force of nature. It is the process of becoming the mountain. Think of a great mountain. It stands in quiet, unshakable majesty. The mountain does not chase the rain clouds. It does not beg the sun for light. It does not worry about the wind that blows against its slopes. It simply is. It is grounded, solid, present. It has an immense gravitational presence. And yet, by its very nature, by its very existence, it creates its own weather. The clouds are drawn to it. The rain falls upon it, creating the streams and rivers that flow from it and give life to the valleys below. The wildlife finds shelter and a home upon its slopes. The mountain does not attract these things through effort or through chasing. It attracts them by what it is. Its being is its power, its stability is its attraction. This is the ultimate secret. The goal is not for money to chase you. The goal is for you to become so internally stable, so grounded in your own value, so at peace with your own being, that you become a mountain. You stop being a leaf blown about by the winds of economic change and personal anxiety. You stop being a desperate hunter chasing shadows. You focus all your energy on building your inner foundation, on going deeper, on becoming more solid. Every act of mindfulness, every moment of choosing presence over panic, every time you tend to your inner garden instead of worrying about the harvest, you are adding another layer of rock to your foundation. You are becoming more and more a mountain. Your presence becomes your value. People are drawn to your stability. Opportunity is drawn to your clarity. Resources flow towards your non-desperate creative energy. You are no longer part of the frantic noise of the marketplace. You are the silent, powerful landmark that gives the landscape its meaning. You do not attract what you want. You attract what you are. Stop chasing. Stop struggling. Turn inward, and with quiet, patient daily practice, become the mountain. The rain will find you. This is it, the final piece of the puzzle. You do not get what you chase with desperation, for that energy repels. You receive what you are, for that energy attracts. The work is not to change the world outside, but to fundamentally transform the world within. To build, stone by patient stone, a mountain of inner peace, stability, and authentic value. When you become the mountain, you need not call for the rain. Your very presence is the invitation it cannot refuse. This is the way. I'm 42 years old. For 25 years, I've been hustling, grinding, chasing. I've sacrificed my health, my peace of mind, all for a number in a bank account that never felt like enough. I'm sitting here with tears in my eyes because this video just shattered my entire reality. The idea of becoming the mountain instead of chasing the clouds. It's like a light switch was just flipped in a dark room I've been trapped in my whole life. Thank you doesn't even begin to cover it. I feel like I can finally breathe. Today, I start tending my garden.